It was only the last 200 million, 205 million where we pledged some Bitcoin as collateral. So that's our famous Bitcoin backed loan, our
Okay.
Bitcoin backed, yeah, loan facility with Silvergate. And we calculated that when we did that, we were 20x over collateralized. Like we had 20 times as much Bitcoin as the loan. And right now we're probably 10x over collateralized. I think if Bitcoin got down to 3,500 a Bitcoin, then we'd have to come up with some other collateral.
In a recent interview, MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor unveils his bullish outlook on Bitcoin. As he deciphers the digital asset's complex trajectory, Saylor emphasizes the company's unwavering conviction, Bitcoin's remarkable resilience, and the significance of a long-term perspective in navigating market volatility. Saylor mentioned in his tweet Bitcoin adoption is being driven by the progressive global loss of confidence in fiat currencies, conventional banking, and competing assets. Crypto networks like Bitcoin can fight online identity and trust issues in cyberspace, says Michael Saylor. He elaborated in an interview on how Bitcoin and other crypto networks can help make digital platforms more secure and prevent various identity scams that occur on them. Right now, enterprises have weak security compared to Bitcoin, Saylor said, adding that innovations using the world's largest cryptocurrency could possibly introduce a new level of security available to firms that doesn't exist right now. It's clear that both assets are a good store of value, but Bitcoin, over the last decade, has been a much better investment compared to gold. He points out that Bitcoin is much more efficient than gold. If I wanted to move $100 million of gold, it's going to cost me $250,000, Saylor explains. But how long is it going to take? A week? A month? Somewhere between. In contrast, Saylor points out that moving $100 million in Bitcoin would take only 30 minutes and cost just a few dollars in transfer fees. Before proceeding further in this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button below for more recent updates about crypto market.
We still get the same, question, which is, if I have an increment of $10 million of cash flow, do I put it into bonds? Do I put it into gold? Do I buy silver? Do I buy land? Do I buy art? Do I buy Bitcoin? So I still think Bitcoin is the most scarce, most desirable, highest quality property. It's a long-term store of value. So I think generally for us, we've adopted a very simple strategy. We keep enough working capital to last us a year, normally in the range of about $50 million in US dollars. And then when we have excess cash, either from operating income or any other financing opportunity, we put that into our treasury reserve asset. And we have adopted Bitcoin as our primary treasury reserve asset. So we're 100% treasury reserves in Bitcoin. You might decide that you're going to split your treasury reserves 1/3 property, 1/3 art, 1/3 Bitcoin, or 1/3 S&P stocks or something, right? It's a preference for an individual or an investor. But of course, our company, MicroStrategy, has adopted a Bitcoin strategy, and we have transparently communicated that to all of our outside shareholders, and that is in our 10K filing. So when someone buys MicroStrategy stock, they know what they're getting. They don't want us to hedge or juggle 16 different assets. So if I showed up and said, hey, I found it, we can buy a Picasso and I got a good deal on it, we think that's better than Bitcoin, all my shareholders would freak out because they don't want to invest in an art hedge fund or a real estate hedge fund. They want someone that's got a Bitcoin strategy. So from a corporate point of view, it's the right thing for us to do. I personally think it's the highest quality property in the world, and I think it will appreciate the best over time. And as I pointed out to you, it has performed the best in the past 2 years versus every other option. So we've been right over a 2-year time frame. I think we'll be right over a 4, 8, 10-year time frame. But even if it turned out that your Picassos were better or your Rolexes were a better investment, we're running a publicly traded company. I think that the highlight in the past year is the institutional adoption of Bitcoin and the maturation of the asset class, along with the education of millions and millions of people as to why they might want digital property, what is a digital commodity, and what's its place in the macro economy. Now, to be clear, I still think we're very early, but that phrase, there are decades when nothing happens and, you know, weeks when decades happen. It really refers to paradigm shifts. To summarize on Bitcoin, I think Bitcoin is it's very volatile. It's getting jerked around. All risk assets are getting jerked around. If you look at one of the more interesting things, right? The 2 year, the 2 year Treasury was 16 basis points a year ago, and it's currently like 3.9%. We went from 16 basis points to 390 basis points on short-term money. The mortgage rate on a 30-year mortgage, has gone from 2.7% to 6% in 12 months.
MicroStrategy increased its Bitcoin holdings for 11 consecutive quarters. Saylor disclosed that MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holdings have experienced a staggering increase over the years. While the company held a modest 38,000 Bitcoin in Q3 2020, its current cash has ballooned to an astounding 140,000 Bitcoin. MicroStrategy looking at Bitcoin ordinals for app development, says Michael Saylor. Right now, enterprises have weak security compared to Bitcoin, Saylor told Decrypt. Saylor identified two key factors propelling Bitcoin's continued growth in 2023: inflation concerns and regulatory crackdowns. As people lose faith in traditional fiat currencies, the digital scarcity of Bitcoin positions it as an attractive hedge against inflation. The discussion surrounding ordinals is important, Saylor said, because Bitcoin miners have to be successful over the long term. He added that the development of applications building on Bitcoin's functionality could also bolster the coin's overall adoption among individuals, firms, and governments in a world of increasing uncertainty. One thing is clear, Saylor and MicroStrategy will always remain bullish on Bitcoin's future.
I tracked the financial market since we embarked on our Bitcoin strategy. So here is what's happened since August 10th, 2020, when we adopted Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. Bitcoin is up 65%. MicroStrategy stock, and MicroStrategy's bought almost $4 billion, not quite, but nearly $4 billion of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy stock is up 66%. So we are tracking slightly ahead of Bitcoin. The S&P is up 14%. The NASDAQ is up 4%. Whoa, 4%. All of big tech is up 4%. Gold is down 18%. And, bonds, the ultra safe bonds, long-term bonds, down 18%. Oof. So in terms of asset classes, the crazy volatile Bitcoin is the best performing of all those major assets. And then you can say to yourself, well, I'm just going to invest in stocks. Okay, let's look at big tech. Google's up 37%, Apple's up 32%, Microsoft's up 16%, Amazon is down 22%, Facebook is down 45%, and Netflix is down 52%. Okay, MicroStrategy, little MicroStrategy, no one ever heard of, up 66%. Would you have guessed that a mid-sized software company, low-growth mid-sized software company nobody ever heard of, would outperform Google in the last 2 years by a factor of 2? And so last point I make, we compete against companies 100 times as big as us. Oracle, 100 times bigger than us. They're up 25%, IBM's up 3%, Salesforce is down 23%, SAP's down 47%. Okay, so what is the lesson of that? The lesson is we're in the middle of chaos. There is no place to hide. Your choice is you could buy gold, but gold is dead metal and it's just getting ground into the dirt, right? I can seize your gold. Gold is the half-life of money, and gold is 35 years. And you can't put gold on 8 billion iPhones. So the problem is there's no tech in gold, and it was a good idea in the 19th century, and it's centralized. Governments can seize it, and the gold miners keep debasing it. They keep mining more gold, right? In the best year, you get 2% more. In the worst year, someone seizes a bunch of gold, dump it on the market, you get more than 2%. So people are looking for a safe haven. What's it going to be? Property in Africa? Property in Venezuela? You can't have property in North Korea, property in Argentina, a business. A business where? A business in Argentina where the currency collapses? What good are your cash flows if the currency that you generate the cash flows are collapses in value?
Today, Bitcoin Network has between 70,000 to 100,000 active users, with more than 300,000 unique Bitcoin wallet holders. According to the formulated price prediction by Coinpedia, Bitcoin price prediction could propel a maximum of $43,959.19 by 2023. If Bitcoin expands its liquidity and attracts more investors, it could gain global recognition, potentially driving the price to $124,867.54 by the end of 2025. However, mining, energy consumption, and regulation concerns could cost $65,556.29. Considering bullish and bearish scenarios, the average price may settle around $95,298.65. That's all about today's analysis. Do you agree with Michael Saylor's perspective about Bitcoin performance as a secure asset? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this information helpful, then like this video and subscribe to our channel. We will bring you more updates in the future.